Lebetkin, the rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So how does Star Trek Picard keep getting better, right? How does it keep getting better? It's beyond me. It's amazing. And it's even more amazing given that we've just come out of like 5 years of essentially substandard, sub-professional writing on television. And, you know, the writing in this is just fantastic. I mean, there's lots of member bearers. Let's be clear, especially this episode. Lots of starship porn, right? There really is it. And it's all great. It's all freaking fantastic. That's great. But it's the writing, right? It's the writing that really pulls this together, the understanding of the character, right? And it seems to be that the biggest problem that people have with Star Trek Picard, or is it just called Picard? I can't remember. Is basically Picard being dead, and this is a robot copy of him, which is kind of what they were doing all the way through Westworld as well, which I thought was a bit strange. Anyway, because I think that just basically means you're dead, and that's a copy of you. That has nothing to do with you. But I digress, right? I digress. They're leaning really into that, and it's really working, right? It's really working. This episode has a number of incredible moments in it, which I don't want to spoil going in. I mean, this is a very spoiler-heavy review. It's a recap review, and they're fantastic. I mean, just absolutely fantastic. But for me, one of the best scenes is still when the Titan appears and like swoops in to do a rescue. But it flies under a starship and over. It's freaking incredible, okay? It's incredible. I keep saying this is some of the best Star Trek I've ever seen, and it is, right? It's just freaking amazing, freaking incredible. I understand you don't want to go back to it. You were burnt on season 1, season 2. I understand. They were awful, right? They were really genuinely awful. This is really genuinely fantastic. It's not bad. It's not that it's okay. This is freaking-tastic, right? I can't rave about it enough. Why? Because it's very good. You know, basically what I'm like. I like to be honest. It's very good. Anyway, this review comes from a live stream. I do live streams pretty much every night, right? I'm chasing the Rumble algorithm. Rumble is a YouTube alternative. That's really doing well, right? It's really doing well for me. So please go to the Rumble and subscribe. Catch me over there. You can get me on YouTube. Also, you can get me on Twitter now as well. My live streams are on Twitter, as are all my videos going on Twitter. Wherever you're seeing me, like, share, subscribe, comment. On Twitter, if you can share that, and that'd be really great, right? And like, yeah, because I want to like try and get a bit more reach on Twitter. Maybe a bit of a reach around. I can't offer you that, okay? I can't offer you that. For many reasons. I can't really go through how many reasons, but there are a lot. There are a lot of reasons why I just can't offer that. So, as I said, like, share, subscribe, comment, whatever platform you're watching me on, and let me know your thoughts, right? Do you like this? Do you disagree with me? Are you hating it? Do you think it's getting better and better? What do you think, right? Especially on YouTube, let me know your thoughts in the comments. That'd be fantastic. Fine, as I said, this came from a live stream. I think it was a couple of nights ago. So let me hand over to me from a couple of nights ago. Let's instead talk about very, very good writing, which I think is the hallmark of Star Trek Picard. I mean, even though it's literally full of member bearers, right? It's member bearers left, right, and bloody center. I forgot to do something. We got to open the wrong file, so we got to go over here, doink, and we go. Where is it? Where'd it go? There we go. Doink and doink. There. Fine. So let's open this up. Doink. Okay. Picard season 3. I call it Picard the final season because I will not pretend there's seasons 1 and 2, right? Because there's not seasons 1 and 2. This is the only thing that's really happened since I wouldn't even say Nemesis. I would say Insurrection. Over Insurrection into this, and this I have to say is the best next gen I've ever seen. It is absolutely the absolute best next gen I've ever seen. It's firing on member bearers level. It's firing on writing level. It's very good. It's very, very, very high quality. But But if you're completely off your box, right? If you're stoned off your bloody mind, you go whoosh! Oh yeah, this is for look. I don't advocate the doing of drugs, kids. I do not advocate that. But here we go. Oh, okay. Now I worked out why my views on Rumble are much lower than normal. Right? It's because I came on 2 hours before I tried it out. Right? That's what's going on. So normally they promote it along. Oh, it's up to 50 views right now. It's pretty good. Let's compare that to the YouTube. So I never look at the stats as I'm doing this. I just rely totally. Yeah, it's double YouTube already. Incredible. Rumble and Twitter is where you can find me, right? You can find me here as well until they give me a copyright strike, right? Or not a copyright strike, or a community strike. It's so great not to have to rely on YouTube. It's really freaking awesome. Anyway, whoosh, right? Where we're in Star Trek, the good Star Trek land. Boom, and we're right into it. And in the tradition of all good Star Trek, see, I would say this is really weirdly mirroring the beats of Star Trek 2, 3, and 4, right? And at least thus far, right? Is it going to do? I mean, because Star Trek 4 is much more comedic. Will it go into that by the end? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Unfortunately, pissed through Q, right? In season 2, which is like, it would be so great to have him in a good season. Anyway, so they're on the run. The Titan is on the run. And they're like, the Federation has been taken over by changelings. These are super changelings that even when you cut them, they still bleed. They have internal organs, and you've really got to work hard to make them not appear to be human. It's better mirroring Star Trek 4 than season 2 did. Yeah, absolutely. Forget everything before this is all new, right? If you've never seen Picard, it doesn't fucking matter. In fact, don't. That will be bad, right? That will be bad. So yeah, they're on the run from the Federation. So this is, you get to see a lot of Federation on Federation action in this episode. So they're leaving these boys apparently everywhere to make people think, whoosh, a starship shows up. To make everything to hide where they are, right? Whoosh! Work out they have 3 coming. I like they have 3 different. I love they listen. They have different design starships at last, right? Yeah, and then also Valek's looking for him. I love that she smokes, by the way, right? That's awesome. That's a really interesting trait I've never seen before. So Valek, that's her name. They're looking for her, like, where are they, right? And she has a great soliloquy where it's where you find out a lot about her, like her character, who she is, what's going on with her, what her motivation is. And she's just like, when is this over? We would have peace again. We'd have to link again. It'll be over, right, at last. Because I forgot how they ended Deep Space Nine, the Dominion War. They basically had a biovirus they gave them, as I recall. Yeah, they mentioned it in this episode, right? And I know Close and find Picard's son before. Yeah, they're also looking for him, right? He and for once, it's not a little girl who's the key to everything. He's the key to everything. What is he? Is he a Par Wraith? My mind is on Par Wraith right now. A Par Wraith hiding inside Jet Crusher, right? That's what I think. And we have the titles again. Great villain now, literally like a Khan level villain, really earning her paycheck in my mind, right? Like a Khan level villain, and interesting backstory now, right? And I do like her motivation, right? It's like you understand her sheer hatred of humanity a little bit more. So fine, whoosh. We're in the Picard. And the reason I show the title card is they've earned it. I say every week, and they have. They absolutely have. Fine. The bounty. Oh God! Everything about this is right. Right. Everything is like just a beautifully considered note. Right. And I went, what's this going to do with Star Trek 4? which is of course what Bones named the Klingon bird of prey that they stole, and they decided to go back in. Was it Star Trek 3 is when Chekhov was dressing as a page boy? That was very strange. Great special effects. I mean, like finally, at fucking last, the potential of the age is being realized, right? Absolute top rate special effects making good fucking TV. Only took you 5 years to start screaming at Trump, you miserable cunts. Good God. Literally. And can I just point out, you were wrong about fucking everything, morons. Don't be so confident in your own bloody opinions when you're fucking wrong about fucking everything. How do we know you're wrong about everything? Have you seen Picard season 3? Yeah, they call it the final season. They don't want to connect it at all to the rest because it's shit and everybody hates it. I digress. And so she's like, there's something wrong with me at the end of it. Scream about Trump won't work a second time. Well, we saw that last week with Sue's, didn't we? The Sue's debacle. If you don't, they wheeled out a trailer for this Doctor Who thing. It was a piece of shit, and the woman's like a political activist, and she's like, "Oh, you just hate me because of my politics and trans people." Oh, fuck off. It didn't go down well. She had her ass handed to her over and over again. Quite rightly so. Anyway, so yeah, at the end of the last episode, Jack Crusher, who goes psycho every now and again and shoots people in the head, so that's like very wrong with me. They're scanning his brain, and he's got Irumodic syndrome, which is what Picard had, right? And it's really interesting though, because the whole thing with the android body, they're really leaning into rather than avoiding it, and they are really leaning into it, I believe, to retcon it right now, which I think is part of this episode. So he's like, fuck. Essentially. He's like, yeah. So he's back in the guidance set, right? They want to use the spot. Okay, fine. And Jack Kaiser is drowning in sorrows. There's a little bit of connection between them before Raffi and Wolf show up, and it's awesome. Raffi, look, okay. Raffi is baggage from the previous era, but again, if you've never seen it, she's fine, right? Forget everything about it, and they even don't bring up the lesbianism that much. They just kind of nod at it a little bit, and it's fine, right? And it's like rather everything is better, right? And they're all happy to see each other. Somebody mentioned there are too many Starfleet uniforms. I do agree, right? Find one and stick to it, right? Irumodic syndrome bit is the only thing I don't like. There was actually Q moving him through time. Okay, it was a member berry, essentially. Lovely little scene. They said, "I know you do not like the hug." Yes, and Beverly hugs him. It's lovely, right? It is lovely. Everything about this is lovely. That's the other thing. You don't see that on TV that often anymore. Everything about this is actually very nice. Where are we up to? And then so they're talking about it's 7 or 9 meets Raffi. We're going to 69 in a minute. Really? Yeah, we are, but we can't right now. We're busy, right? We can't. And look, normally, if you can hit them with a de-aging gun, I would be up for that Star Trek. But we move on. Wolf says we have much to discuss. Whoosh, they go off of there. They keep warping places randomly so they can't get caught. So they say we need to break into the Daystrom Institute. We need to find out what was stolen there. But there is an AI protecting it. So I thought, and I was wrong, although I was not 100% wrong. This was going to be Moriarty, right? Moriarty was going to be protecting the thing. It's basically all their Black Ops stuff, which again, it's so different the way Kurtzman does it. Kurtzman, and if you go back and look at all this shit, it's all about that. This makes more sense. This feels in-universe Star Trek, right? So it's that certainly where they keep all their weapons. There's a ton of member bearers here. I hope to get Keith on, but he can't come on. Maybe because I had the time wrong. Yeah. So what was I up to? So yeah, he would recognize the things they reference there a lot when they get there. So they got a break in the Daystream Institute. By the way, absolutely loving shot. He is fantastic in every scene he's got. Right. So they're basically like setting up the job. Yeah, we got to get the AI. We'll break in. So they go to the Daystream Institute. Boom, and I love that behind the moon. Right. It's that very seems very Star Trekky. And they about to go in, and she's like, "Okay, bye then. We'll have sex later." And Wolf's like, "I understand lovers going into combat is bad. Would you like to join us?" And she's like, "No." Says, "Oh, thank God, I really didn't want you to." Boom, they don't. But Riker's going along. One might call this right one of Riker's finest hours. And so they're in, and they're like, "Please, what are you doing here?" The Daystream Institute, and they got to put the hack in, and they do. Oh yeah, they got that's the other thing. They had to get they got the hack how to get there from this awesome Klingon. That what the big innovation they've added to this iteration of Star Trek is very cool Star Trek Underground, right? Which really, I love the gangster rap Klingon. I love the Vulcan. I thought they were absolutely excellent, right? So that's a hack how they got in. That okay, you can come in. Meanwhile, two starships show up, right? And they're like, we got to get out of it. By the way, loving LaForge at the helm, and she has such a great scene this episode. Right? Okay, fine. We got to leave you there for a couple of hours. I have an idea. We'll be right back. And they're like, and they're gone. Right? I do like these two starships. Was it 2 or 3? Oh yeah, so they got to get out there ASAP. Otherwise, they're in trouble and they're alone. Right? So so this looks like Genesis device. Actually, says it Genesis 2 device. There's the second one. Okay. What does this say? Here, let me look. Let's have a look. Oh, I can't tell. Captain USS Enterprise? What do you reckon that is? Anybody know in the chat what that could be? I don't know. So Wolf sees is it Kirk's remains, do you think? Okay, fine, but why? But okay. Let's have a look. Why are there Kirk's remains? There's an attack tribble. Must be an anti-Klingon weapon because they hate tribbles. They're terrified of tribbles. So they're looking at all the black holes. Then Wolf and Riker pokes Wolf a little bit. He's like, "Oh no, I prefer meditation instead." Meanwhile, they're being watched by the AI, was it activating security measures? And then the security measures Moriarty, right? And you also have this museum, dun, 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 the music, when I say, I love Moriarty. I assume Moriarty is the AI, because that's what I guessed, and I was wrong. But he's used by them to attack them. Meanwhile, Titan goes. I forgot. Important plot point. At the end of the Vedic scene, which was excellent, right? She was fantastic in that scene. Talking about her, she says, "We have to find anything, any place they'll go, any place they'll find comfort." And stop them. So they go to Starfleet Museum, which is the original Starbase, which is so fucking good, right? I love that, right? With all these cool stars, it's lots of starship porn, and fuck me, it's awesome. Okay, it's all awesome, right? It's all very good. They held the Commodore, who is LaForge, right? LaForge is like, "I am not happy to see you." Okay, I am not happy. Look, we got another fucking uniform, right? LaForge is like, "Okay, I'll come," but he's not happy, right? LaForge beams on with his daughter. This is the real LeVar Burton's daughter, quite hot, if I may say so. And so they're happy to see each other, right? He's like, listen, you're being hunted by Starfleet. I'm gonna. You can get out of it now and turn yourself in, essentially. And he's like, George is like, you can't do this. This is like out of line. Meanwhile, her daughter is like the permanent secretary. Again, pretty darn hot, if I may say so. And meanwhile, back at Data Institute, right? They're taking on Moriarty, and there's weird music playing, right? It's a challenge, right? And so this is such a great scene. This is such an awesome scene where they Riker's working it out. You go da da da. He's like, where have I heard that tune before? Da 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 da. Like playing it like theatrically in the background, and you cut to Encounter in Farpoint, and it looks so right. It looks like so in universe the same thing. Here, 1 second. Right, I love this Riker working it out. Here, 1 second. I crop those pictures. Right, it's like I've heard that before, right? And and he's remembering the first time he saw Data, and so he goes bum, da, 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 right, and it turns off the security measures, right? And they go into the AI, the central AI, and it's again. A Riker sees him. You don't believe it's going to be Data, right? Spoiler alert. You don't believe it could possibly be Data. But of course, but and yes, beautiful, fucking beautiful. This scene where he's right, and first time he sees Data and he sees it now, it is just a wonderful, not just emotional payoff to see him again, because we've seen him again quite a few times, right? It's a it's wonderful to see him with the character moment between Riker and Data, and there's a lot of that in this episode, right? There's a hell of a lot of that in this episode. A real understanding of what is good character, right? So there's a Data there. Okay, he's not awake, right? He's not an awake Data, but he's a Data. What's going on with Data? So this is where the so they cut back to here, and he's like, we put my daughter in danger. So his other daughter says, look, I'll try and work it out. Meanwhile, we get a nice little riff striking up between that's not yet, but we had a little riff striking up with Jack Crusher and LaForge. I love it. Okay, pure starship porn right now, right? Well, you see the Defiant, a wonderful. That is the Defiant, isn't it? So, there we go. No, I hate it when it does that. I mean, it's certainly a Defiant class ship. You can't really see. Maybe. I think it's probably Defiant. I mean, why not? Right? And then you see original Constitution class ship. I love these, right? They're absolutely gorgeous. And then you see Kirk ship, NCC 1701A. Lovely, right? Because the original one blew up. And then you go and see there's Voyager there. And there's a nice character moment with Seven. So that was my home for many years, right? And she was very warm to it. And then you see a bird of prey, and this episode is called Bounty. You go, oh please, oh yes, please, it'll be wonderful. I love the way they fudge out the virtually undefined. Yes, I know. So anyway, they're like, what's Data doing here? But Riker is just ecstatic to see his old friend, right? And that's palpable from the performance, right? It genuinely is. It's lovely, right? It's really lovely. And you don't really notice he's an aged Data either. Like, what's going on? And so they pull out this recording, and essentially, Noonien Sung, I think, I remember when they met Law, they met Noonien Sung at some point, like a very old version of him. So I think after they met him, he decided to make he wanted Data to be like a vessel for his consciousness. He thought that was wrong. So instead, he wanted to have progeny. He wanted to make a new
Sun Sung. Okay, but he wanted to make a new, like a new life from old life. So it's basically his personality, Data, Law, and Before, all in the same body, but they haven't been integrated together yet, right? They can't really do it yet. So at that point, you absolutely know that it's going to be about Brent Spiner doing, a Rolodex of Data characters, which, fuck me, yes. Yeah. Anyway, yes, back on the Titan. So LaForge and Picard are warming up a little bit. And well, his daughter's like saying, "Look, I'm going to try and calm him down." So fine. So they find out what it is, and these are all the different Data personalities. But they can't integrate them yet, right? So they figure if they get them back to Titan, they can. And he's like, listen, I gotta take my daughter with me. Go do what you want. I'm not going to stop you, but I've got to come and take my back home with us. And she's like, has a great scene together, right? And he says, you got to do it. And she's like, and it is a great scene. This I was talking to my wife today about. It's a very Star Trek-y thing. We're going to go on the run. We're going to risk everything. We're going to do it for friendship. We're going to do it for loyalty. We're going to do it for right. We're going to do it for wrong. To stop something that's wrong. We're going to do it to save everything. We're putting everything on the line because everything is on stake. That's a very Star Trek-y thing, right? Essentially Star Trek 4, essentially Star Trek 3 with the stealing the Enterprise. They put everything on the line, right? We've seen it again. That is pure Star Trek to me, right? And she's like, it's my crew. I'm staying with them. I am doing this, right? And you would do the same if you were younger. And we know he would do the fucking same because we've seen him do the same, right? We've seen him do the same along. And it's an amazing because you see, this is him with the weight of generations, right? The weight of responsibility on his shoulder, right? For decades. He's married. He's got children, right? He's not as ready to take risks. He knows what loss is, right? And his daughter's like, you can't deny me what you would do yourself, right? And it just is a wonderful scene. It's just, I'm staying, right? And they're like, oh yeah. So then we have this little thing spark up between Jack and what's the name? LaForge, Sydney, isn't it? LaForge. And they say, we've got an idea. Meanwhile, they want to take Data with them, and suddenly there's a big yes. Before that, we have that awesome character moment with LaForge on the bridge with Shaw. Now Shaw. We've been with him 6 episodes. I know more about him than Michael Burnham. I know more about his character than Michael Burnham's insane, right? I liked the character though. I went from disliking him to liking him to understanding him to respecting him, right? To rooting for him, right? So yeah, PD says absolutely right. Shaw geeks out. He's like, because he's like a grease monkey in engineering. He's like, it's such an honor to have you on my bridge. I can't believe it, right? And the Forge is like, listen, normally I would geek out with you about it, but we got time now. But your ship is held together with tape and it shouldn't be running. It's brilliant. It's a testament to one of the most wonderful engineering jobs ever. And Shaw is like, oh my god. That was so good. That was excellent. Much like me, Shaw nearly cried. Actually, I did cry. Anyway, goes and all of a sudden, there's an EM radiation goes through the ship. I said, "What's going on? What's happening?" And they've stolen the bird of prey's cloaking device, right? And there's brilliant character moment. Like what? When they're like, "What have you done?" I said, "We haven't done anything." And LaForge turns to Picard, and Picard turns to Picard and says, "It's Sydney, right?" And Picard turns to LaForge and says, "It's Jack, right?" And it exactly it is. And again, the pitch perfect comedy for Star Trek in my mind, right? Absolutely. Yeah, it's just absolutely right. I don't think there's any other way to describe it. So they're integrating it. It says, fine, we got to go. Yes, when he realizes it's his daughter, Sydney, right? Once he goes, so they're cloaked, and he goes down and says, fine, I know how to fix it. I'll turn it on. They have to escape, right? And what's her name? Shaw shows up in the cloaked Titan, which is awesome. And there's, what was it, 4 to beam out because they want to get data, so they're disconnecting data. And Starfleet's been alerted. Riker, I think, really at his heroic best. I mean, the only other great the only other time I remember Riker being this awesome, and you tell me if you can remember greater Riker moments in the chat or in the comments, right? Was the bit in Insurrection where he had firstly he had a joystick to control the Enterprise, but he said we're done running from these bastards, right? So and this is the same thing. He said he's going to stop the Starfleet security getting them because they're going to get there before time. So he's going to find them. So there's a great gun battle. Pew pew pew. Do you prefer the single long time laser from TNG or the pew pew pews? I hope we get to see a TNG style phaser at some point, right? But again, great pew pew pewing. This is fucking awesome. This effect shot, it gets better and freaking better. So you have I would show you the clip, but I'll probably get copyright struck, right? So it flies in, turning it's got a decloak and it's got to lower shields to beat people up. So flies in. And it flies underneath this one starship, like underneath one starship. Was it above another? Starship pulled like you haven't seen, right? Oh, it's wonderful, right? And they beam out home again, but Riker gets hit with the transport prohibitor, so he can't get out, and they just got to run, whoosh. And then we found the AI who knows all the answers to the question. They're there to find out what was stolen from the Daystrom Institute. I forgot to mention. And Data's there, right? And again, all the bullshit about Data and Picard in season 1. Who gives a shit? This is perfect. Geordi seeing Data again, and you see how it touches him, right? And I think he's kind of happy to be on the run as well. So he works to integrate Data. Look, great scene with Jack Crusher as well. So listen, I was always, all these good traits, but I was also these others, brave, and I was loyal, and I wondered where I got that from. I get it from you. It's lovely. Again, very Star Trek. It's really good. I like this character a lot. Well, I said this, I think last during the spoiler-free review when doing a young Picard, like a young brash Picard, it's the Kirk, right? You see he is the British Marine, Kirk and Picard. So again, lovely scene, great actor. I think all this is working well. I think you could carry on with him, and then all the new characters you've introduced, right? So fine. So they've reintegrated Data. Is it going to work? Yes, of course it's going to bloody work, right? So in they come, and again, I cried the first time, right? When did I cry the first time? We're at 236. I got to remember 236. I shit you not. I forgot to mention. I literally cried at this. Where was it? Yes, this scene, right? This scene with Riker seeing, you see him, and you don't see Data yet, right? Freaking awesome. You see him, and you see his memory, right, of seeing his friend for the first time, and it is beautiful. It is absolutely freaking beautiful, right? Let's go back. So anyway, so they're waking Data up. So I cried at that moment. I was crying when I told you about it just now, right? They reboot Data and wake up. And great. First he looks at Geordi and says, Geordi. And then, this is the second time I cried. He looks at Picard and says, Captain. I was like, yes, it's real fucking Data back. It's real Data. I love him. Oh, and it's, I can't believe how much I missed it, right? Can't believe how much I missed it. Yes. Patrick Stewart, that's how I feel, right? Absolutely. And so he's basically waking up saying, blah, 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 blah. And he's so essentially leading into the synth body thing. This is essentially a synthetic organic body created by Sung that would age, so it will be like a real progeny, which is essentially why Brent Spiner can be old. Okay, that's essentially why. But I think they're going to do a strong correlation between Picard and Data both being the edges of humanity, right? Both of which I find interesting. So they're saying, so then they're asking, what is it? Yeah, what is it they're stolen from Daystrom, right? He goes into B4 for a bit, and then then he's Law, and then he's Sung. Oh yeah, this is when he's Law, and then he's B4, and then so who? What was it that's stolen? And B4 says Picard. Jean-Luc Picard, and say, what's he talking about? And then he projects out his remains, right? His actual physical remains. Again, I like that they're leading into this, and you don't have to see anything else, right? So meanwhile, so again, this is the thing they've stolen, which is going to be the super weapon somehow. How, we don't know. Again, all the plots are really coming together beautifully. But that scene with the starship flight, with the Titan flying under a starship and over a star, I literally groaned in pleasure, right? I did. I'm not exaggerating. That's totally what happened. Okay, so again, from a Riker's finest moment, he's getting the shit beaten out of him, right? And they're going to shoot him and say, fine, I'm not going to tell you shit. And then that the person was holding into him and just shoots the other guards, and then shapeshift into Vanek, right? Not good news. He's like, fuck. So then he takes him aboard the I can't remember, the Osprey, some bird, right? And he's like, a bit brash, and like, you can kill me, I don't care. And he's like, yeah, I know we can kill you. We can do anything we want to you. But that's why we got something else there. And again, the look in his face, right? It's brilliant, fantastic, great cliffhanger. And they have Troy, right? Game over, mate, right? Game over. So, look, what do we have to look for? Then we go into the awesome titles. Star Trekkie, Star Trekkie, Trekkie, Star Trek, da-da-da, Star, da-da-da-da, blah, 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 blah. Fine. So, what we have to look forward to? I mean, we got a daring rescue of Riker to look forward to. Hopefully, we're not going to have to see Troy raped and murdered. That would be a bit of a bummer for the season. I don't think we're going to see that, right? Hopefully, in Luther, you might. in this, probably not. So yeah, we got that to come. We got to find out what's with Jack. My guess is he's inhabited by a Parwraith. And because it's somehow connected to the wormhole, probably. What else is there? And we got 4 more episodes. Loving every freaking minute of this. Absolutely loving every freaking minute of it because it's awesome, right? Absolutely freaking awesome, right? My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.